Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, we're going to be talking a bit about price, so I will say at the outset, I have no financial background, I'm not a financial advisor, do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. Usually in my videos by stating that, but in videos like this, I prefer to ideally mention it more than once. Please take that to heart, what I just said there. And I have, from just 5 different chart analysts, 5 different opinions. And I will say today the sentiment seems overall a lot more positive even than just yesterday, but things can change on a dime when it comes to investing in the world of crypto, so fascinating. As it pertains to XRP, the first chart analyst I'm going to share with you, it was neat to me because they give their technical chart analyst reasons for this, but it's a point that I've made on this channel, which has to do with the fact that XRP, and I've mentioned, of course, XRP undeniably is tethered to the price action of Bitcoin, but even so, it'll have long, at times, very long periods of seemingly, I don't know, how do you want to characterize, I guess seemingly less volatile price activity, with trading within more of a narrow bandwidth, even though in terms of percentage gains relative to, say, the stock market, you could say, okay, that's pretty volatile. Okay, fine. But I'm just saying for crypto, it gets in these little more narrow bands where it just doesn't seem to be quite as volatile, again, for long periods of time. And I've pointed this out on the channel, and there are all sorts of other actual professional traders that have noted this as well and agree with that sentiment. And so that's part of what was covered here, but I want to share with you what he thinks in terms of a big picture here. And after I share with you the opinions from 5 analysts here, I've got a couple other interesting pieces that kind of relate to price here. Like, take a look at this one, for example. Bitcoin gold dive in tandem as China posts poor economic data, which is interesting if you consider that gold and Bitcoin are supposed to be safe haven assets, but they dive as there's bad news about China and their economic activity. Also got a piece here titled Bitcoin has corrected 40% countless times before another bull run. And this is significant to me. I know, of course, this is an XRP-centric channel, but as it pertains to Bitcoin, look, XRP just is tethered to it, so the price action of Bitcoin, like it or not, for now, matters. One day there will be a complete decoupling, and maybe Bitcoin will just continue to chase after XRP at that point. That's fine. We're just not there quite yet. Before we get going, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because that would be an okay idea. Not the worst, you can do worse things with your life. So right now, the market cap for the crypto asset class, 214 billion. Bitcoin's at 7,947. So yes, indeed, it did break below 8,000 again. You got XRP broke below 30 cents. It's at 29.36 cents, and really over the last 24 hours, I mean, things could have been worse. Look at this. It seemed more or less flat. It's off by 1%, but whatever, where's the 24-hour high? Here we go. 24-hour high, 30.25 cents. So, not that much of a difference here. So here's my boy MPC. Oh, what a lovely name you have. Now, I will say so, he's got quite a following. Almost 30,000 followers on Twitter. Check this out. Here's his chart, and he titled this An Important Update on XRP. You're going to want to know about this. Check out this opinion. I really enjoyed reading through this here. Okay, so it begins. Hi friends, welcome to this update analysis on XRP. Let's get right to it. Looking at the weekly XRP chart, we can see that XRP did break down below its enormous lifelong uptrend channel. That actually happened about a month ago. Since then, XRP has been pushing up into the bottom of the channel. However, thus far, the bottom of the channel has mostly acted as resistance, preventing XRP from decisively regaining this monumental uptrend channel. So, XRP has essentially broken below the channel and is currently defining it as resistance. On the daily chart, I have noticed a few instances where XRP is traded inside of the channel, and it even managed to close 1 or 2 daily candles inside of it, which I reported on yesterday. Actually did happen. However, that wasn't sustained, as XRP was not able to then hold the bottom of the channel as support. And by the way, this is all from just like several hours or so ago, so this is new stuff. XRP is clearly in a battle with the bottom of this uptrend channel right now. If we later find that XRP rolls over to the downside, definitively defining the bottom of the uptrend channel as impenetrable resistance, things could get ugly. Particularly if we break down below the Gaussian channel, there is always a possibility that the uptrend channel will be defined as resistance, but XRP will just continue to trend mostly sideways, remaining inside the confines of the Gaussian channel. And this is, check out this. This is where I think it starts to get real interesting. So he writes, we can see that XRP has held the bottom of the Gaussian channel as support, similar to the price movement before the 2017 bull run. So, while I would like to see XRP get back into the uptrend channel, I don't think it absolutely necessarily has to prevent a downside collapse. Contrarily, I think a collapse could ensue if the bottom of the Gaussian channel is lost in addition to XRP losing the uptrend channel. Okay, so again, this is what I was kind of talking about towards the beginning part of the video. He has technical chart analyst style reasons for that. But for a lay person like me, looking at a chart, and you could have cited all sorts of terms like that, like, I don't even know what a Gaussian channel is. I'm not going to pretend to know. It doesn't matter. I just want you to understand conceptually what's going on here. You could have said similar things, no doubt, in 2017, as cited here. And what I noticed, just from using my eyeballs to look at a chart without any special markings or drawings on it, is that from roughly, and this is going from memory, so don't hold me literally to this, but roughly May of 2017 towards roughly mid-December of 2017, so roughly just a little over, say maybe a little over a 6-month period, XRP was more or less flat while Bitcoin was doing its thing, and it just makes me think, as this was being described here, that XRP just has these really long periods at times where it's just flat. And it goes back to another thing that I've cited on this channel, and there's data to support this. XRP is the least correlated in terms of price action to Bitcoin in the top 10 cryptocurrencies, second only to XLM, Stellar, as long as XLM is in the top 10, it can bounce in and out of that. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth. And then the piece continues here. Speaking more on the Gaussian channel, we can see that it's still in the red, so we will need to see XRP trade above the midline of the channel or consolidate within it for an extended period of time before the Gaussian channel flips green here on the weekly chart. In addition to holding the Gaussian channel, XRP is holding this long extended base in green, just as it did before the 2017 bull run. So there is definitely a lot of key support right in this area, which I will be watching very closely. The most positive sign for the bulls would be a close back inside of the uptrend channel, followed by a sustained breakout above the center line of the Gaussian channel, which would likely cause the channel to flip green. And look, there have been a lot of chart analysts I've been citing in these types of videos that I've been doing somewhat regularly, just because there's so much news in terms of price action. There's a lot more, say, right now than there was even a month or two ago, at least from my perspective, that type of reporting that's more meaningful, right? Because the sentiment is, and I keep seeing this sentiment, that's the reason it's more interesting to me, to be honest, it's that a lot of people believe alt season is coming, and some have reported, some chart analysts, very recent videos stating how XRP may in fact be the altcoin that leads it. I know some of you don't like XRP to be called an altcoin, but hey, whatever. It's just any coin that is not number one will always be an altcoin, right? So if it's XRP as number one in market cap, then Bitcoin's an altcoin. Okay, it doesn't have to be derogatory. I mean, I don't think. It's just anything that's not number one, right? That's what it means. And so anyway, there are some that think that XRP is going to lead the next alt season. All right, check out this now. Here's another chart analyst, Cryptalk. On XRP, happy Friday, guys, and enjoy your weekend. Here's my Picasso Fibs surgery chart. What a perfect beauty of data. Retweet, this is art. And so clearly a positive sentiment, thinking that, as you can see on the chart here, breakouts to come. Now, he did tweet this in response also, so I'm going to read this real quick. All right, guys, don't look at the time frame on the chart. It's not at the scale, but only to be easier to read for your meaningless fake moon trader eyes. And this is only wave one. And so, I've covered tweets from him in recent videos also, and so from his perspective, even if there is some negative short-term price action, which he's not even citing here, even if, though, he believes that there's enough data in place already to believe that there could certainly be more substantial upward price action. That's what I keep seeing from him as a report on his tweets, fairly regular over the last week or so in particular. All right, next, check out this piece. Bitcoin is heading to $70,000 and naysayers can stay out, says crypto analyst. From a bullish outlook on Bitcoin's trajectory to new adoption for Ethereum and XRP, here's a look at some of the stories breaking in the world of crypto. Technical analyst and manager of the active investor service on Seeking Alpha, Brian Fletcher, says Bitcoin is moving through an Elliott wave pattern as expected and is now on course to hit $70,000. Analysts utilize Elliott wave theory to predict future price action by identifying crowd psychology that manifests in waves. In part 5 of a look at Bitcoin's trajectory, Fletcher writes that Bitcoin is set for one more rise to $10,000 and one more dip to around $7,000. After that, he believes the leading cryptocurrency will begin a long-term bull run to new all-time highs. And here's a quote now. Blue Wave 4 is complete as of late 2018, and Bitcoin has now commenced in earnest its move to the $70,000 region. The C wave portion of the initial W wave is a diagonal structure suggestive that it will produce a reasonably high wave 4 up to the $10,000 region before providing the final fifth wave down to $6,900. So interesting sentiment right there indeed. It's bullish, right? And look, I still think if the crypto asset class is here to stay, and indeed it is, and the frenzy around it is still here, and people haven't figured out what's important, not financial advice, but I'd be shocked if Bitcoin didn't reach substantially higher levels, and again, that would be great for the entire asset class. I'm skeptical of Bitcoin's eternal staying power unless it actually has some sort of meaningful adoption, which after 10 years, it does not have. People just have not been able to figure out this asset class, and that's why it's still here, I think. But in the short term, at a minimum, short to midterm, will not be surprised at all if it continues to go up. Take a look at this now. Top 3 price predictions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Bitcoin is back above $8,000. Can ETH and XRP recover fast? And of course, Bitcoin did break below that after this. After yesterday's growth, cryptocurrencies are coming back to their previous levels. Buyers are not strong enough to support the market in a bullish trend, and even Bitcoin is still not ready to move up. At the same time, XRP is looking interesting, where a reversal pattern is being formed. The price of the coin is ready for a new wave of growth in case of a breakdown of resistance. Moreover, the third most popular crypto is the top gainer today, as its rate has increased by almost 4% over the last day. And I think they wanted to cover a little more down here. Yeah, there we go. So XRP, again, is the biggest gainer today as compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Its rate has increased by 3% at press time. There you go. Here we go. On the 4-hour chart, XRP has been moving in the uptrend since early October. At the moment, quotes are testing the support area where the indicator signal lines are located. One should expect a rebound from them and continued growth to the first target at 32 cents. So there you go, another bullish sentiment right there. All right, next piece. Looming Death Cross suggests Bitcoin may be nearing price bottom. We've been hearing a lot of traders speaking along these lines. So I'm just going to read the 3 bullet points. Bitcoin's 50 and 200-day moving averages, MAs, look set to produce a death cross in the next week or two. Historical data shows the cryptocurrency could bottom out if the cross is confirmed. Next bullet point. Bitcoin may drop to support near 7,430 before then. Next bullet point. A break above 8,820 is needed to invalidate the bearish lower highs set up and confirm a bullish reversal. So less certain as to where this is going, but there you go, indicators of what to look for from that trader's perspective. All right, Bitcoin and gold dives in tandem as China posts poor economic data, which is fascinating, right? And so it says, perceived safe haven assets Bitcoin and gold were trending downwards on Friday as investors processed the emotional aftermath of China's weak economic data. The Bitcoin/USD instrument slipped 1.96% or $158.23 on San Francisco-based Coinbase exchange to trade at $7,917.97. The downside pressure mounted shortly after the Shanghai market opened, leading to a circa $308 drop right ahead of the close. The move downhill reflected a similar price action in China, CSI 300 of Shanghai and Shenzhen's listed stocks, which fell 1.6% on the day. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index at the same time edged 0.7% lower. And so I'm not going to read the rest of the article. I just wanted to share that with you because, as you know, there are all sorts of proponents for this concept out there in the world. It's that cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, they're a safe haven against economic turmoil. And here's at least a piece of evidence, if anecdotal, fine, that says no. So again, could just be anecdotal, but I still wanted to share it with you. I'm still going to keep watching this and see how things unfold. But given that people, with the frenzy around the asset class, like I keep saying, I don't think people know how to behave around this yet when stuff happens in the world. I'm just not sure. I'm just not convinced yet. Because I've seen stories on both sides. I've seen anecdotal evidence like that, and then I've also seen evidence to the contrary. So take it for what it's worth. All right, last piece in this video. Bitcoin has corrected 40% countless times before another bull run. As we come to the end of another week on crypto markets, Bitcoin has held on to support. Many of the altcoins have taken a bit of a beating, however, and total market capitalization has shrunk $5 billion since Monday. Bearish sentiment is abound, but Bitcoin may simply have just completed its 40% correction as expected. Bearish sentiment. Well, maybe if you're talking about Bitcoin specifically, but for most of the chart analysts I've seen, and actually many of them talking about Bitcoin, it hasn't been as bearish, frankly, over the last week. I've been watching this fairly closely. That's not what I'm seeing. All right, support holds for Bitcoin. That's a subheading. Bitcoin dropped below $8,000 for the fourth time yesterday, but again did not stay there long and rallied back to reach an intraday high of $8,120. For almost a month now, Bitcoin has remained at the support zone around the $8,000 level, where it has been range-bound. All right, the downtrend is still intact, and bearish sentiment has swept across the crypto Twitter over the past couple of weeks. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index has been at around 40 for a fortnight now. Fortnight. I'm glad you threw that word there. As the bears continue to lurk in the shadows. An impending death cross on the daily chart also spells further doom and potential downsides, which could see the year out. Not all are bearish, though, and many had predicted a correction of this magnitude. At today's prices, Bitcoin has corrected by 41% this year, but it is still up over 110% since January 1st. And so there you go. I think that the concepts I wanted to share, I don't need to read through the rest of this, but I think I've shared the sentiments of multiple chart analysts and traders out there. So you can tell me what you think. Look, I don't make price predictions. I'm here for the long haul. I think eventually XRP will one day be worth a lot more than it is today. That's just my everyday Joe Schmo style opinion here without a financial background. So I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!